Hi, Steve Sleeper here for AMI Environmental, where we make environmental problems go away. I'm here today with Doug Marshall, and Doug is an industrial hygienist with AMI Environmental, and we were talking about industrial hygiene qualitative risk assessment. And it's there is a difference between qualitative and quantitative, and typically you start with a qualitative assessment. Am I getting that right, Doug?
That's right, Steve, and I think that's the first step when we go in and work for a customer. As we're looking at the MSDS sheets, we're looking at the ventilation systems, we're looking at the products they manufacture, we're looking at the workflow, we're looking at the PPE that's already in place, and from that we can possibly eliminate having to do qualitative analysis or quantitative risk assessment on those other things. So let's say I tell, or by looking at the MSDS sheets, by looking at the workflow, by looking at the employees' work practices, the PPE they wear, the ventilation that's in that work area, I assess that there's very limited or very unlikely risk that person's going to be exposed.
Right.
In another case, I may have a question of whether or not they are being exposed at anywhere near or such a percent, any percent of the permissible exposure limit. That's where I will be doing a quantitative risk assessment, and that's just hanging the pump. That's taking and collecting data to give the client or give our customer information, background information, and the employee information that says you're not being exposed above a permissible exposure limit. And that just goes to show you that your employer cares about you and you're falling within regulatory guidelines.
So with a qualitative risk assessment, a qualitative analysis, that's maybe where a lot of, industrial hygiene's an art and a science, but that's probably where a lot of the art comes in then, is on the qualitative side.
Right. I mean, there has to be a practical approach taken to all of this. If we go into an environment with 200 employees and there is, 16 different operations, there may be some of those operations that don't have hazards or risks that justify having to do exposure monitoring. And that's where we help our clients come to that justification. And there may be other areas where we want to prove or provide proof that those exposures aren't occurring. And that's where we help our clients save money, and it's taking a practical approach, and that's pretty commonplace in this industry nowadays, whereas maybe in the past pumps were, they would hang pumps on everybody would be sampled. That's not so anymore. This is what's been in the industry now for the past 10 years, and this is the way it's going to go, I believe.
Thanks, Doug. For a free consultation, call 402-397-5011 or visit industrialhygieneami.com. Industrial Hygiene Qualitative Risk Assessment.